Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. Today, it's November 13th, 2022. A little less than a week ago, we had the election. Folks, I got to tell you, I'm really, really sad about the results of the election, but I'm more sad that nobody's willing to fight for this country anymore. Some really bad things happen on election day, and nobody's even talking about it. They just accepted the fact that, well, that's the way our elections are going to be. The Republican GOP establishment has let this country down. They accepted the results of the elections because they're not willing to fight anymore. There was issues with the ballots in Arizona. There was issues with all kinds of things in Pennsylvania and Georgia. Well, now it appears that the Democrats will maintain control of the Senate, which means that even if we take the House, which I don't believe is a done deal yet, but even if we do take the House and we have hearings to impeach Biden or investigate Hunter or whatever, it won't go anywhere in the Senate. Well, I put some videos out there trying to explain to people what's at stake at the election. Well, now I'm not going to make any more videos about this anymore after today, because you know what? They're going to come after me, and there's nobody willing to fight for me, because they won't even fight for each other. They weren't willing to fight for the country. The Democrats' main thing in this election seemed to have been killing babies in the womb, and how the Republicans were a threat to democracy. Well, if you say the Republicans are a threat to democracy, but you need to look back and see what actually happened the past 2 years. They put these books in the libraries, in the schools, in the elementary schools, sex books and gender books, and explaining to little children that they can be a boy if they want to be a boy, they can be a girl if they want to be a girl. And now I think they even said they want to be a cat. That's okay. When they want to change the thing about the gender pronouns. Well, when the parents went to the school board meetings to complain, to protect their children from all this nonsense, all this woke bullshit, the Attorney General of the United States, on orders from the President of the United States, were told to investigate school board meeting parents that were protesting this at the school board meetings, investigate them as domestic terrorists. Think about that. Domestic terrorists? Really? To fight for their children, to have a normal life, is domestic terrorists? You had the transvestites going to these schools in front. I think it was second graders dressed in their freaky clothes and acting all freaky with their just crazy shit that they do. That's okay with them. They want to, in California, I believe it is, that they want to be able to reassign a child's identity and have the operation without the parents' consent. What's that all about? Folks, this election, there was so much bad stuff that happened in this election that, you know what, I think it may be gone. It may be gone. The Republic may be over. Maybe, I don't know what it is that I'm missing. How much more could we have explained to the public? But I do not believe for 1 second that this election was fair. No way. No way. It was supposed to be this big, huge red wave, and then all of a sudden it didn't materialize at all. And now the Democrats have control of the Senate. Folks, the country's in a lot of trouble right now. The next 2 years are going to be horrible for this country. I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I pray that God intervenes in this. I'm sad. I'm very, very sad for the Republic. Look, I'm 67 years old now. Most of the stuff that's really, really bad and that's going to happen later on, I won't be around for it. But it's the children and their children will probably never know the country that we grew up in. Big tech and the globalists have taken over the country. We may end up all have to learn Chinese. I don't know. I don't know where it's going. But the GOP has let us down. This election here, they should have fought. They find out what's going on with the drop boxes. Find out what's going on with all of a sudden in Arizona, the machines didn't accept the ballots. They couldn't be counted. And they're still turning in absentee ballots. 6 days after the election, they're still turning in absentee ballots in other races. How the hell is that possible? And now, with the Democrats in control again, when they were going to fix the problem for the next election. I don't care. I don't care if it's Donald Trump or DeSantis or Pinocchio that's running in the next election. If the election's not fair, they can't win. You got somebody like Fetterman, who the MSNBC was talking about him being president. He can't even complete a sentence. And you got Joe Biden as president, who's obviously cognitively impaired. Obviously, I mean, it's not even an issue. And now they're talking about Biden and Fetterman as a ticket for the next election. Well, that's a no-brainer, for real. So, I don't know. Folks. It's bad. It's bad. My dad passed away. I miss him every day. He passed away in 1999. And a very good man, very patriot. Fought in World War II. Was wounded a couple of times. I'm glad he's not around to see what's going on right now. He would not recognize it. He wouldn't understand it. He wouldn't understand what's going on. And then Gavin Newsom, reelected in California. Kathy Hochul, reelected in New York. I shouldn't say reelected because she wasn't elected the first time, but she was elected as governor in New York. She completely destroyed the city. Completely. Gretchen Whitmer completely destroyed her state. Chicago, the streets in Chicago, there's young people dying by the thousands every year now. And that little mayor, Beetlejuice, I call her, in Chicago, you don't hear nothing about all the slaughter that's going on. Nothing to stop it. New York people getting pushed in front of subway trains, beaten with hammers, old people beaten on the streets, just for no reason. People walk down the street and beat somebody up just for the hell of it. No cash bail. They let them in. They arrest them, put them in jail, and then no cash bail. They get right back out on the street and they do it again. Some of these people arrested more than 10 times. Doesn't matter to these Democrats that are running these cities. I believe it's intentional. They want to defund the police. They want to take away the police department and do away with the people that live in the communities that are enforcing the laws and protecting the communities. They want to do away with them. Well, okay, so the crime is on the rise. You want to take away the police. What's left? Who's going to protect us? Oh, wait a minute, I know. The federal government. The federal government. And to all you people in the military and law enforcement, understand one thing. When this country gets really bad and they want to take over this country and people are out in the streets to get the country back, if it happens, I don't know. They're going to call out you guys to protect the citizens from what they did. From what they did. They'll call out the federal troops, the National Guard. And then what do you got? A communist state. That's the goal, folks. A communist state. Do away with local law enforcement, have the federal government control law enforcement in the communities. But you people in the middle, in the military and law enforcement, they cannot do it without your help. They cannot do it without your help. They call you out to do something from California. If they send you to New York to restore order, just remember, if you have to fire on people, they may be your own cousins. They may be your own cousins. It's a very small world now. People's families are all over in every state. You don't have to follow inappropriate orders. You don't have to help them bring the country down. You don't have to help them create a communist country. This is going to be the last video about this stuff, folks. There's nobody to protect me. They won't even protect each other. I'm sorry that this happened, and I don't know what else to say. But God, please rain down and help us get our country back and protect us for the next 2 years. Thank you.